everyone, welcome back to my Devil May Cry 4 S-Rank guide, and today I'm going to be helping you with mission 2. So this is the first proper long mission of the game, and in this start here you're going to be fighting a couple of scarecrows. So you can really take them out however you want. Try to vary up your moves so that you build up your style by not doing the same thing. And you also want to break every item in the room before you leave, because there is an orb requirement in this game. You need to hit a specific amount of orbs. So just make sure you break everything that you see in the video. And you should also be always trying to exceed. Even if you're not good at it, it's always better to exceed and not do it well than not do it at all, because you're always going to get that extra boost in damage and style if you actually land and exceed. But alright, once you kill the scarecrows, break all the bins and chairs and you can move on. Then there's an orb, which is, it's pretty much impossible to miss, but just make sure that you grab it and then go through the door. And there is also a time requirement in this game, but you don't really have to worry about that. But as long as you keep progressing through the level at a decent pace and don't spend an insanely long time in certain fights, you should be alright. This isn't a hard level to get through quickly. All you fight here is scarecrows and burial. But alright, then you want to make sure that you break all those boxes and barrels, and then you're on to the next fight. It's just again a couple of scarecrows, so just beat them up however you want, vary up your moves, do some busters. Try to taunt if you can. I don't really do much taunting in this mission, but if you can try, it's a nice way to build up your style. And one thing I would also recommend is switching your gun button. If you have your gun button on square, then I will also make sure to break all these shelves. But yeah, like I was saying, if you have your gun button on square, I would really recommend to switch it to R2. Because that way you can constantly hold R2 and charge your gun while you are attacking. So that way you will be able to shoot out charge shots level 3 more often. And they do a lot of damage and give you a lot of style. So they are very useful in boss fights too. Okay, when you enter this room, there's a couple of orbs you want to grab. One right to the right, you can just snatch that with your arm. And then this one, you go to the left and down and you jump to get it. And then there's also some breakable chairs here that you want to bust up before moving on, that you can get more orbs. So smack those up real quick and pick up the evil legacy so that you can move on. So yeah, break the rest of the chairs, walk up to the big blue statue in the middle, collect the item. Then you want to get onto the middle point up there. Use the snatch, and here you're gonna have more items to break, so just make sure you don't miss them. So grapple over here and make sure you break all the benches. You can exceed and use streak to make it go by a little faster, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference, just saying. But okay, once you've busted through the benches, you want to go through this door, and now you're gonna do some grappling. There isn't any orbs or enemies to fight here or pick up, so you just want to continue running. And once you get past this grapple point, you will be fighting 2 scarecrows. So yeah, just beat these guys up normally, do whatever you want them, just make sure to do different moves so that you get more style, and do not take stupid hits like I just did there, but okay, whatever, I can heal it off. I do a showdown here real quick, and that kills him. And I should probably mention that sometimes scarecrows will be able to block your attacks, but when you hit them enough, they'll eventually try to attack you instead, or you'll break their block. And again, here you're just fighting more scarecrows, so like before, just do what you want to them. And there isn't really much for me to say on these guys. They're really easy to kill. Use snatch to bring them up to you so that you can kill them quicker. And that's really about it. There's just a couple of them. Just watch out to not get hit. Again, try to hit your exceeds too. But yeah, this fight should not give you any trouble at all. You can also practice jump cancelling on these guys. These guys are fairly easy to jump cancel. If you're not comfortable with it, this might be a good chance to practice. But actually, the boss we'll be fighting later in this mission, Burial, is actually really good for practicing jump cancelling. And now once you finish this fight, you want to go through this door. And here we're actually going to be fighting some new enemies. They're called Assaults, and they have shields. And there is a couple of ways you can fight them. First of all, you can just jump behind them and then you can launch them in the air, so you can avoid the shield completely. Or you can just smack the shield until it breaks. Exceeded attacks work really well for that. Sometimes they will be able to counter, so you're going to want to look out for that. But when you see it, then you're just going to want to jump and you should be alright. But yeah, once you get through their shields, whether you jump behind them or break the shields, you can really do whatever you want to them. Shoot out charge shots if you want, do some combos. When you are comboing them in the air, they could break out of your combo and start spinning and trying to attack you. But that's okay, because if you see it, you can easily dodge it. So you could also just keep them on the ground and just keep them stunned. That also works really well. And you see those boxes with fruits, right? Those give you health, so if you do take damage during this fight, you can just easily break those boxes and they will give you a little bit of health back. And besides, you're going to need to break those anyway to get the orb requirement, so just keep those in mind. But yeah, just kill the assaults and then start breaking stuff around to get the orbs. And I broke some of the stuff during the fight, so just make sure that you get them. There was a barrel and a box of fruits on the left there, and then also in the alleyway where you came from, there's a couple of breakables. But then you also want to break the big red orb here to get, well, red orbs. So just smack that a bunch. As you can see, I still haven't killed all the assaults. There's still one more left. It's fully devil triggered and has full health, but that's okay. Even when the assaults devil triggered, they're not really that big of an issue. Same with scarecrows. As long as you just break them and then start knock them down on the ground, you can really do whatever. They do a crap load more damage though, so you really want to watch out to not get hit. But as long as you can avoid their attacks, then they aren't that big of an issue. As you can see, I just took a big hit there, but that's alright. As long as you have some devil trigger or find some green orbs around, you can heal that off. But alright, make sure that you kill all the assaults and then you grab everything before you move on so that you don't miss anything and get the orb rank. And that was it, by the way. They're countering my attack, so I just jumped in the air and I was safe. Alright, it is dead now, and first of all you want to go to the left here and collect those red orbs here. And then you can go through as long as you have broken everything. Then you're going to want to continue going on. And once you change cameras here, you're going to see a bin here. You're going to want to break it. And then there's this, right? There's 2 red orb caches here and you need to get those. So you want to jump up to get the first one. The first one's fairly easy to get. Try not to fall off. And then you want to jump up to the level higher to get the second one. That one might catch you out and you might fall down a few times. Just make sure you get those. Then you continue on with the level. And once you exit this tunnel over here, you want to go to the left because there's another red orb here. So you want to jump up and get that. And then again, you're just continuing with the level for a bit. There's a red orb there in the way, so you just grab that. It's basically impossible to miss. You have to go this way anyway. Then you want to snatch over here, and then once you enter this door, there's going to be a couple of more scarecrows to fight. It's another really easy fight, so use it as an opportunity to build up your rank and your style so that you actually have a decent amount of style. So always do different moves. Try to land a couple of taunts. Again, I don't really taunt in this mission that much, but that's alright. You don't really have to, but again, it's good for building style. So just do different moves to build up your rank and you should be alright. And since scarecrows don't really give you that much trouble, try to practice your exceeds on them. Again, like I said earlier, it's better to exceed if you don't do it well than not doing it at all. So use these scarecrows as exceed practice. Then I just stood here and charged my gun. I don't really know why. I could have just sliced it with my sword, but whatever, we're done here. There isn't much to collect around this room, so you just want to continue with the levels. Smack this up to open the door. Then you want to collect these orbs. Again, they're basically impossible to miss. You want to go through, interact with the lever so that you can continue with the rest of the level. And once you exit this building here, more scarecrows will spawn. And I should mention this for all the Devil May Cry 5 players. Do not skip optional fights in this game. In Devil May Cry 5, skipping optional fights is actually better for rank running because they won't lower your style average. In this game, fighting optional fights will always increase your style. So always do optional fights. So beat the ever-living life out of these scarecrows. Do what you want to them, it's alright. Just make sure to keep doing different moves. I know I keep repeating myself, but you know, there isn't really much to say about scarecrows. So I'm just reiterating my points. Now here I taunt, right? And taunting doesn't increase your style points, but increases your style rank, which means that you will be able to get more style points while actually attacking. So that's why taunting is really good. But okay, once you kill them, you want to go back to the same snatch point you were at earlier, and then you want to go into here. And now you're going to be fighting more scarecrows. And while we're fighting more scarecrows, I want to mention the iframes. Because when you jump, for example, as long as you're in the animation of jumping up, you are invincible. Nothing can hurt you. But that only applies to the single jump, not the air hike. And that applies to some other moves. For example, Nero's Devil Trigger animation. As long as you're in that animation, you are invincible. When you get out of the animation, obviously you're not, but that's something to note. And I know both those animations are really short, but if you know when to use them and how to time them, they could actually save your life. And while on the topic of Devil Trigger, feel free to use it whenever you want to. All it does is help you. Whether you need a heal or a damage boost, it's always there to use as long as you have Devil Trigger meter. But okay, after you kill these scarecrows, those were actually the last enemies before the boss fight. So when you kill them, you want to continue on with the level. There's a couple of dumpsters here, so just make sure you break those and then you can continue on through the door. Now there's still some orbs left to collect. So once you enter this door, you want to go through this hallway here and then you want to jump down there because there's a bunch of orbs you can still grab. So just make sure you get those. And then we snatch up after that and then we get to go fight Burial. As you can see, I did a pathetic job of snatching there, but it's okay. Once you snatch up, there's a green orb on the left if you want to get it, if you have low health or something. But then you want to go to the right, go through the door, and now it's time for Burial. And Burial is an insanely fun boss fight. Like I said earlier, he's really good for jump cancel practice too. But okay, once you start the fight, if you have Devil Trigger, I suggest to instantly activate it and do a maximum bet, which is lock on, back, triangle, and circle at the same time. And that will instantly take out a good chunk of his health, which is really good. And then once you do that, time to start beating up on him. While you're smacking him with your sword, make sure to keep charging your gun so that you can let out charge shots once in a while. Now, a couple of attacks you should be looking out for example, is AoE. The second you see him starting to charge it, you want to run away because otherwise you will get hit by a blast and it's going to do a lot of damage to you. So you want to make sure you avoid that. So just stay out of its way. Then he also does a jump and spin attack where he jumps in the air and spins his sword around. So again, when he does that, you're going to want to watch out. And you can jump or caliber out of its way. That was the AoE right there. You want to get out of its way. And this is another move you should look out for. He starts to wind up his sword, then he jumps at you and smacks the sword onto the ground. You can just dodge to the left or right and then you'll be fine. Or you can just jump, iframes. Now he also has an attack where he's going to create eruptions in the ground. And the best way to dodge it is to just stop attacking him and just run. Because running around will basically guarantee that you won't get hit by the eruptions. Sometimes you can just jump and hope to God that they don't hit you, but most of the time you will. Now when you stun him, his flame will deactivate. And this is really important because you can buster him twice. Once in the air and once on the ground. I did the ground buster there first. Usually I prefer to do the air one, but I did the ground one on accident. but you can still do the air one after. So just make sure that you do that because you'll get a lot more damage out. And yeah, once you kill Burial, that's basically it. There's no more orbs to collect. There's no more fights. You just have to run to the end of the mission and then you are basically done. So just enter this cave here and you're done with the mission. And fun fact, you will know if you got the S rank by the amount and shape of the bullets that are blasted on screen. I got an A in style here, but that's okay because I got an S in time and orbs. And you don't need all 3 S's to get an S rank at the end of the mission, so just keep that in mind. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope this helped. If you did, of course, leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Adios.